India's fintech market size at 30 billion US dollar in 2021. That is the third largest in the world. The growth of fintech industry in the last 5 years in India is tremendous, and that's the steep rise in the adoption of digital payment method, transaction procedure, and that's the Indian fintech market currently stand as the world third largest fintech ecosystem. That entire ecosystem that's built based on those fintech support, and that's the world as facing currently, and due to this pandemic it has been increased rapidly, and that the adoption of digital payment and this application in the market in the fintech industry, and that's how it's worked. And after US and China, India is the third largest market in the fintech ecosystem, and however India still remains as untapped market due to the lower penetration. And these untapped opportunities, along with the favorable ecosystem, the suitable ecosystem that can boost the financial services, that can enhance the financial ecosystem, that business entity that working toward these fintech adoptions and this infrastructure for the fintech companies to build their ecosystems that create a large growth potential for the fintech companies in India. And the overall size of the Indian financial service sector in India in 2021, that estimated to be a 500 billion US dollar, which is the fintech market comprises of those 31 billion US dollar. And according to those reports, the rapid pace of growth in the fintech sector and this industry that working towards digital payment and digital ecosystem is working towards India, that comes on the back of the accelerated digitalization in the country. And this accelerated digitalization support in the fintech industry will working towards the features of this fintech platform, the fintech ecosystem in India. And most of the companies in the last 5 years in India that grow as a fintech companies like paytm, MobiKwik, Razor Pay, and many other important companies, PhonePe, Google Pay, all those fintech companies and those transactions that are happened in the period of digitalization, and most of the time in the recent pandemic in the last 2 years, the massive adoption of digital payment, the massive transaction that has been made in a digital format is itself signifies the importance of a fintech solution, fintech industry, and that the next 5 years the fintech sector is expected to grow with a compound annual growth rate of 22%, and that is currently stand at the third largest fintech ecosystem behind US and China. As of total, more than 6,000 fintechs, 28% are into the investment technologies, and 27% into the payment method, 16% into the lending procedure, and the banking infrastructure for the 9%, and remaining 20% on the other field that working towards those fintech. That is a pie chart segment of the many fintech classification that working towards a better way of fintech platform, the development of this fintech ecosystem in India, and that's the industry of 10 unicorn in India regarding this industry, including Razor Pay, cred, Pine Labs, Policybazar, Navi, Lending Card, and many other also involved in these fintech industries. From 2016 to 2021, the last 5 years, the fintech companies are evolving at a massive pace. They are adopting those platform, people using those fintech platform massive in a large way, and that's how this digital payment has been adopted. And the Digital India campaign, the mission of Digital India, and the cashless free society, that the backbone of this fintech industry is looking for, and the fintech funding stood at 16.5 billion Investor need to invest more in the fintech industry now. This is a suitable time, appropriate time for the investor to invest in this particular industry, because there is a massive potential in this particular industry as of now, and the India's industry that has seen those progress in the last 10 years, but it needs those investors to put more money now on to get the valuation they have. It's kind of valuation they aspire to be. And the investor will have to wait for 500 to 600 million Indians that digitally transacting to see the magic happening, and all the valuation will come, but they have to invest now. Today 300 million Indians are transacting digitally, and that's the statistics we have found. And that when we started 10 years ago, the 10 million used to transact digitally. That means it's 30 times has been progress in the digital transaction due to this fintech industry growth, and it has some potential, the massive potential it has shown in the last 10 years. And we have come a long way since then, that the tip of the iceberg that we have faced, that India is the third largest fintech market in the world with $30 billion in 2021, and the sector is expected to grow at 22% rate in the next 5 years, and that makes that India has the potential to become the largest fintech market in the world in the next 5 to 10 years. That's the estimated. According to this growth has been predicted, India has the potential to become the largest fintech industry in the world. And India is home to over 1 billion people, but only about 50 to 70 million of them have access to those credit, while the number of people who have access to the insurance and savings product is merely 10%, and that's the result. There is a 90% market available to be tapped, and there are many players that available. So if there is any sector investors should go long, then it should be a fintech industry, because it has a large amount of market that is to be tapped. I mean, that is still untapped, and that's how it's create those potential, and that's how India's fintech market will grow as fast as China's, because India's regulators have been on their toes to draw those regulations for any development in the industry. The fintech revolution first came in the China, and then the regulatory framework has been handled not in a great way that makes a difficult time, and India also was not the case for instances. But how it will work in the future, how investor looks onto this particular industry, and how they bring those industry in the forefront in the next few years, that expect those profitability from the day one, and that should allow them to grow in future. The investor should look at how this will be a right fundamentals, and they are trying to build those businesses which scaled as a positive contribution at a business margin, and that's how it's look. That's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.